Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever stood on a golf course, heart pounding, totally worried you're about to break some secret, unwritten rule? Well, if that's you, you're in the right place. Today, we are going to turn that anxiety into confidence by breaking down the key rules you actually need to know. Let's get right into it. I mean, it's so true, right? Those first tee jitters, they're completely normal. You gotta remember, every single golfer on the planet was a beginner once. And that fear of holding people up or just making a mistake, yeah, it can be intense. But listen, nobody expects you to have the entire rulebook memorized. And that really is the million-dollar question. You don't need to become a rules official overnight. Nope. You just need to get a handle on a few core ideas that show you respect the game, the course, and, of course, the other players. Think of this as your personal cheat sheet to feeling comfortable from the very first swing. Okay, before we even get into how to hit the ball, let's talk about the single most important thing in all of golf etiquette. Seriously, if you only remember one thing from our time together today, make it this. It all boils down to two things: pace and respect. So, what even is pace of play? You can think of it as the heartbeat of the golf course. And believe me, slow play is the #1 thing that drives golfers crazy. The goal is super simple. Just keep up with the group that's right in front of you. But how do you do that without rushing? Well, the answer is a brilliant little philosophy called Ready Golf. Ready Golf is really just common sense in action. The old formal tradition says the person farthest from the hole hits first. But Ready Golf, it just says, hey, if you're ready to go and it's safe, hit the ball. And little things like not writing your scores down on the green but waiting till the next tee box, they make a huge difference. It's a mindset. Always be thinking about your next move to keep the game flowing. Now, the other side of that coin is respect for the course itself. The goal here is to leave the course in even better shape than you found it. So if you take a divot, a chunk of grass, put it back or fill it with sand. If you go into a bunker, rake your footprints when you leave. And if your ball leaves a little dent on the green, fix it. It's a small gesture that means everything. Okay, now that we've got the etiquette down, let's get into the game itself. We're going to walk through a hole from the very beginning, the tee box, all the way to the green, and cover the absolute basics you'll see every time you play. This right here, this is the soul of the game. Whatever you do, you can't just nudge your ball out from behind a tree or move it onto a nicer patch of grass. You have to play it from exactly where it ended up. Now, are there a few exceptions? Yes, and we'll get to those. But this is the fundamental idea you always come back to. So let's start at the tee box. First things first, make sure you tee your ball up between the two markers, but not in front of them. A good rule of thumb is to just tee it up a foot or so behind that line so you're totally safe. And hey, here's one for you. If your ball just falls off the tee before you swing, no big deal, just put it back on. But if you take a full swing and miss the ball completely, yeah, ouch. That one actually counts as a stroke. All right, let's be real. Golf doesn't always go as planned. You're going to hit bad shots, and they're going to end up in some, let's say, interesting places. So, knowing how to handle that trouble without panicking is absolutely crucial. Let's look at the most common sticky situations. Okay, this has got to be the #1 question for every new golfer. You hit a great drive, but it just keeps drifting, and oh no, it's gone. So, what do you do? Well, it all depends on where it went, and the course uses colored stakes to tell you. And the difference is huge. A penalty area marked with red or yellow stakes, that's a one-stroke penalty, and you just drop a new ball near where it went in. Simple. But out of bounds, marked by white stakes, is way harsher. Officially, you have to add a penalty stroke and go all the way back to re-hit your shot. But to save time, almost every course uses a friendly local rule where you just take a 2-stroke penalty and drop near where it went out. When in doubt, just ask your group what they're playing. Ah, yes, the dreaded sand trap. Bunkers have their own little world of rules, and the biggest one, the one you absolutely cannot forget, is that your club cannot touch the sand before you make your swing. No testing the sand, no practice swings hitting the sand, nothing. Then, after you blast it out, hopefully in one try, just remember to rake it nice and smooth for whoever's next. Now here is a fantastic rule to keep in your back pocket. Let's say your ball lands somewhere completely impossible, like right in the middle of a thorny bush. You do not have to be a hero and try to hit it. You can just declare it unplayable. It'll cost you 1 penalty stroke, but it lets you pick up your ball and drop it in a playable spot. Trust me, it's a real score saver. Okay, let's head to the green and talk about how it all adds up to your final score. Honestly, just understanding the lingo of scoring is a huge part of feeling like you belong on the course. In golf, everything is scored relative to par, which is just the expected score for a very good player on any given hole. So a bogey isn't just a score of 5, it's a score of 1 over par. On a par 4 hole, that's a 5, but on a par 5, a bogey is a 6. A birdie is 1 under par. Don't worry too much about making eagles just yet, but just knowing these terms helps you track your game and join the conversation. So, what's a handicap? You've probably heard people talking about their handicap. It's really just a number that's designed to level the playing field. It basically represents how many strokes over par you usually shoot, which is what allows a brand new golfer to have a totally fair and fun match against someone who's been playing for 20 years. So how does it actually work? Well, the math is super simple. Your gross score is just the total number of strokes you actually took. Then you subtract your handicap number, and that gives you your net score. So if you shoot a 100 and your handicap is 25, your net score is a 75. And that's how you can compete with anybody. All right, to wrap things up, let's make sure you are completely up to date. The rules of golf are always evolving just a little bit, and knowing a couple of the most recent changes from 2023 will make you sound like you've been playing for years. First up, let's talk clubs. So let's say you're taking your backswing, and you accidentally hit a tree and bend your 7-iron. Well, under the new rules, you can actually replace it in the middle of your round, as long as you didn't damage it by, throwing it in a fit of rage. This next one is just about fairness. Say you take a penalty drop. Your ball lands and stops, but then a big gust of wind comes and rolls it into a water hazard. That's not your fault. So now, there's no penalty. You just get to pick it up and place it back where it was. They've also simplified some of the more confusing drop procedures to make them faster and more intuitive. For example, when you have to drop your ball on a specific line to get relief from trouble, you now just drop it right on that line. It's a small tweak that just makes more sense. And finally, this is a really fantastic and important addition to the game. A brand new permanent rule, Rule 25, is now fully part of the rulebook. It provides specific, common-sense modifications for players with disabilities, which is a huge step in making golf more accessible for absolutely everyone. So there you have it. We've covered a lot, from pace of play all the way to penalty strokes. But as you can probably tell, it's not really about memorizing a giant book of regulations. It's about understanding the core principles. Play with respect, take care of the course, and keep it moving.